Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. So, Polina talking to you about Chiron in Aries from the 17th of April 2018 till April the 14th, 2027. And I know I've talked about Chiron before, but I'm going to do this one because somebody requested it. So I feel I like it when people request, so I will do it. Okay, so the bottom line, the depth, crux, bold, strong, huge, deep cuts, made easy, missions accomplished, things done, no longer available. That is awesome. This can't be. We have a very good sun at this point in time, as I'm actually talking about this in what is it now? Well, it's 2:22 a.m. Great. Tuesday, the 5th of March, 2019. So we are in a very, very strong time in Pisces right now where we cannot probably handle the mistake that we have made recently or in the past. We might no longer want to dip our toes into certain territories that are now looking lustful or strange. We cannot bear the look of someone's face in disrespect or disconnection, or we cannot see how else we would do things. But we must also have humble, loving, caring support, lots of petting, lots of exits, lots of maybe background also. We can't just be that bold. And bold we can't be, since this type of Chiron can deem us universally unable or strongly, deeply, and perhaps definitely unwanted or very securely and severely placed. It can make us a big no or a great big yes. This is not the type of time to carry on. It isn't the type of life where we keep going. We can't whine about the same thing all the time. People that are not conscious and that don't have their pineal gland open and available are obvious. Start now learning you. Get your nervous system together. Make yourself as vast and beautiful and caring as you like, but also please have your wits about you, and please unconscious behavior, chain smoking, chain regrets, crying over spilt milk again and again and again, making the same types of universal conclusions about yourself or doing the same type of thing cannot this time be, because it is not going to give you anything, or it will snap you under this train of energy, which is Chiron and Aries during this time. Also, we have Uranus in Taurus, we have Neptune and Pisces, so you're surrounded, blocked off. Also Pluto in Capricorn, Saturn going for Capricorn now. So the thing here is it has got to be true and it's got to be real. So if you are, for example, a woman who says, no one loves me, I don't want to love, I don't trust anyone, and it isn't just the one night that you cry like that, you cry like that all the time, you'll be snapped. You can be snapped into that relationship that completes you for that reason, or you can be someone that is no longer disguised as one thing or the other. These different types of feelings that you have that are juxtaposed over one another will not stand themselves like that. You cannot have the luxury during this type of transit or the time to be that and then this and then this and then this and then this and then this. You'll be completed into one box, or you'll be boxed off. It's like cancer in a body, you know, when it takes like a shape of a mole. So it's like this basically. When we whine and we keep on going, we keep on doing, We keep on being sad or silenced, and nothing is helping. Nobody's word, nobody in your life maybe has ever shown you better or has ever been the best. Nothing has worked out. Nothing ever heals. Chronic pain, chronic fatigue, thyroid, bladder, thighs, ankles, everything that hurts, everything that bleeds, endometriosis, premenstrual issues, thoughts about killing yourself, thoughts about the war, thoughts about mom and dad not being happy, everything that you have gained respect for before, maybe even in the earlier years of your life, or earlier times in your life where those issues were seen as beautiful, somehow nostalgic, and perhaps somebody who's got huge trauma or karma with war and warfare was seen as someone that was really amazing and really unique and delightful on some level, enlightening, wisening, purifying, especially with Chiron and Pisces. We had to see you. We had to watch you go. We had to watch you seep into the depths to show us where not to be. Yeah, during this time, we're all one thing. And if you've got a whining or a chronic or a oozing or a seeping, crumbling, and forever ongoing connection with pain or trauma, that makes us weak, or it will not make us proud. And there is a sharp or maybe even distorted or even angular, sometimes chemical, sometimes metallic frequency that rushes through the space and just abrupts, boxes in, or negotiates very fast. So you're at a polarity's edge. Chiron in Pisces was lenient. Sometimes we had to bleed things for a long time. We had to taste the issue. We had to really recognize what was the problem. We had to talk for about 7 hours about somebody's mother's issues in order to somehow put it all together again. At this point in time, there is no more. And you can also see here with therapists, if you work with massage, with oils, with perfumes, with aromatherapy, with all things that are, for the giving of pleasure, for the giving of love, for the blanketing or the conformity towards another person. And I've seen this in me as well and others. You will not really formulate it the same way. So for you, for example, 6 years ago, it was pleasurable to see somebody try on perfume for 7 hours. It was so nice to hold somebody in your arms for 6 or 7 days because they were going through a negative situation. This time, it is not perhaps very easy for you to be that shoulder. And the reason is those therapists that have been there for a long time and us who have been there for others for a very long time, if we haven't yet worked it out, you will. But you don't have to anymore. There are shorter, much more efficient and affordable energetically ways and wavelengths to do what you do. And this goes towards all things. Very affordable, very quick methods of giving and taking. Very quick and affordable methods of doing anything that used to take a long time. Also, it might be something that you see or do, hear, or understand. In one word, you can wipe a smile off someone's face if it's not a good smile, or you can heal a whole country or a whole group of people with one swift decision. You can make that one statement or that one video or that one picture and it shows the world the way forward, or you could be that one presence, Chiron and Aries, the winner, okay? That walks the earth alone. The doctor that walks alone. Doctors without borders, right? So people that make a difference and a change in people's lives because they own who they are. People that are on their own. People that don't want to belong. People that don't want to feel shame of another person. Also, those of us who can't care. We have these future generations, and the older ones are worried. It's like, my child has no empathy, what's going on? And the thing here is that we don't really have that sometimes. Some of us have not much anymore, and it's not because we're becoming broken, computerized, estranged, vulnerable, just strange. It's not about those things. It's actually because we can't afford to dawdle, and no longer can we listen to a story ongoingly without coming to a very perhaps forced or like volcanic energy that should eventually cut off all the bad results. And the good and the bad are sometimes not seen as they are. And this is where sometimes people might find a master, not a teacher. This is where you might find a dominatrix, not a woman. This is where you might find a dis-ease, not a conversation, or you might find perhaps a mental, how can I say, disassociation rather than a truth. And this is not because we are dark or getting darker with time. We just don't want to anymore. And please, 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 if you're finding yourself going to disassociative behavior, if you're feeling very blank and very disheartened, or you don't feel very right and you don't know what it is, if you have an animal instinct coming through, or you're feeling very animal, very provocative, or very strong, very strange, very flavored, very kind of like psychotic, it is so good to check that out. You are identified and re-identified during this time, Aries identity. Your force and your vigor and your light generated in the previous years already is now seen and open to us all, and it was all coinciding with the dog year. So we're all placed, we've all been concluded, everybody's done, everyone's already in a sense king or queen, or whoever they have come out to be. Everybody's a king and queen of something. And then now the story is yours to change if you want, but you've got to look at yourself. You have to be alone and sometimes very lonely if you are in a place that is dark, and not to spend your money, yourself, your time, the shedding of skin around so you don't contaminate or reconfirm yourself as a dark patch with another. So this is to do with whining, processing out loud, making other believe you, making others give you attention. You might already see this now. I mean, if you're on Facebook, I'm on Facebook all the time, links below, okay? You might see that people used to whine and complain and perhaps also show their skin, like show what's underneath. They used to maybe also want to control each other, passive aggressive comments, barking at each other, trying to show each other their wounds and scars, talking about very private, personal stuff socially and outwardly. And globally, like with the Me Too movement, one of those things, it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, it just was. It was a good thing for many of us. And now we have to basically see that even on social media, people are less likely to shed their spleen and to show another person the insides of their heart, unless they're really, really perhaps like you like that, and their identity has not perhaps shown a scar from that type of behavior. Which is unusual. But yeah, most of the people that are ongoing, people that don't heal, people with giant wounds will be spoken to by God, they will be spoken to by nature, by another person, especially other people in association, and they will be pushed into place. So it's like we are chiropractically adjusting one another during such a time into greater alignment and to greater hope. So please, compliments, knowledge, you shouldn't do it, don't do it, please, go, no. That's not good in excess, but for some of us, when someone's looking at you and they're saying something to you like that, on some level, on some occasions, that's really good. You're being chiropractically adjusted, especially when a person can't believe or can't understand why they have to say that to you. Also, taking advice from a stranger, from an impartial gaze. You are great. You are beautiful. Why don't you complete your story? Why don't you write a book? Do you want to do this? Are you okay with how that happened? Very involved. We're becoming very involved. We're becoming more like bees. We're becoming more like ants, which is so amazing to see in this lifetime. To see the contrast of it early in life, like for me being 33. And it's so nice to see people doing it now. It's like involvement. It's like, how are you? Are you good? Are you okay? And it is almost like being approached by a surgeon. It's like being approached by a paramedic or a nurse, or a police person. It's like, are you okay? Are you fine? Do you want to tell me now really quick what's up? And then, like, it's the community and the involvement with these types of people is what gets you out. And here we have leaders, we have leadership, we have those people that are climbing up on top of it all, not to be, but to actually provide. And, those of us that have had these types of ascension symptoms or ascension portals, where we have accidentally come up as a leader of a sort, we have to give. It is not a leadership where you have the crown and you sit there going, yes, all good. It'll come. There will be times when we can be passive leaders and we can just fill our stomach and fill our cupboards worth of stuff, and that's where we belong. But unfortunately, for some people who are not used to giving back, this is not the time where you're just a leader, because for the first few degrees of this particular Chiron, 6 or 7 degrees, you have to work hard. So we're forged, the leader or the worth giver or the helper or the policeman or the medical practitioner or the psychic or the guru or, the helper or the expert or anybody who is prominently coming up Chironic during this time, Chironic, suddenly awakened, after the last 7 years of ascension, awakened, okay, I'm ready to embody this. That person has to be strong, because we're not giving this out to people for nothing. What I mean is collectively, also spirits and global consciousness and angels and all the different beings involved, they don't give you the energy or that force or that awakening or that help, especially if you're working with spirit or you're working with Christ consciousness, whatever you're working with. You don't get it for nothing. You don't get it to be like, hey guys, guess what? I can predict the days, or like, I can predict what you think you're gonna do. I can predict your, la la la. That we can't do anymore. There has to be an active global participation in each other's lives for these people that are getting gifts and that have secured themselves within the knowledge that they have been able to possess or collect or embed or unveil, or unconceal during the previous cycle. So Chiron and Pisces has helped us all to embed that unseen frequency. And then these people that are not yet real, they can't tell, who are my guides? What is this planet? Where am I? I am so not knowing. You don't need to know right now. You will. This is the leader energy, Chiron and Aries. Okay, the healer, the doctor, the healer leads the world. The healer, okay? So this is when you guys might notice that I'm not sure who I am anymore, because I have little beings living within my field, and they are listening to me and they're responding, and then I have to respond, right? So this is where I get it from, okay? And you can also, but the thing is here, it's not about competing with yourself even anymore. It's not about competing with you or who you were or who you are to be, over these different ways of being or functioning as a healer, a coach, a leader, or a practitioner, or a private detective, whatever you're becoming, being human, human being. It's not really within that capacity. It's more just about learning to stand your ground, standing your own ground in the face of destruction, in the face of adversity. And you might know this by now, but when you have it, you can't give it like over to another person to carry. You have to know that you'll face many perhaps animosities in your life, or during this particular first 6 degrees or 7 degrees of Chiron and Aries, to get yourself together even more. So you might, for example, find a mate, they disappear. You may give birth, something happens. You may become open to just being one of the people. You don't want to carry that cross, and either you will be completely swooped by a wave or you will come out on top. It's like very radical, like radicalism, being the fighter, being the cross-pollinator, having a bigger tool than you used to. It's very phallic energy. Having a bigger paintbrush than you used to, having to pick up that microphone, having to say that word, being pushed onto a new platform or stage. And it's not you that's, beyond it. It's not you that's above it. It's not you that's shining truly. Chiron and Aries, Chiron and identity, healing of one's identity, and also self-sacrifice, okay? This is more like you are meant to give that speech. You were meant to shine that light, and you can't not do it out of this energy needing you to do it. And on some level, we think Aries energy is like the extrovert, the posh, kind of funky, groovy, crazy one that wants the attention or wants all the things by themselves or for themselves, the winner, the one that drums their own chest, like a gorilla. There is something like that, but on some level it is not. You will see that you are not the one that belongs within that role, but there are lots of thoughts and feelings, energies, services, energetic alignments that are pushing you towards that. And this is where you have to freaking trust and guide yourself and others back to source, without which you cannot do. And all of us have it on different levels, and some of us don't. Actually, yeah, true, some of us don't. What we have to establish it now is that it's not about competing, not even with you. It's more about just going along these different new paths and guidelines, especially during this time with Jupiter and Sag. It's more like beginning to bring back wisdom or holiness or associative energies for all other people. It's like going on a crusade for your own hopes and dreams. It's like beginning to make sense, and perhaps also sensual, erotic, or emotional love in such a way that does not bring back bad memories, and cleansing the karma of one's being here. And this is hard stuff. Your being here, the pollution and the aroma of decay, or the aroma of dance with life on this plane. You see, like the beating of your heart, the grace of your soul, like what is the meaning here? Bringing back the full quantum security and eventually stability as Chiron goes into Taurus from 15th of April 2027. We have quite a decade here, almost a decade. So the thing here is not to get stuck in one's own breath, in one's own political mind, in one's own grief, or one's own closures. The thing here is actually the opposite, is to evolve out of one thing into the next thing. And after all, you'll start to see things very differently if you let yourself swiftly and slowly, depending on the cycle, shift your identity into a neat little crisis. You see, most people don't see this as good. It's a great thing. And then a new crisis will follow. A new crisis will follow that. And up until the 15th of April 2027, you guys will not, I believe, truly, fully find your feet. Well, if you fight these crises, but also if you dawdle, you have to go on this journey of your heart and of your soul, and time with the rest of us also, and not forget your own speed. If you did not maybe perhaps make it through the previous energetic formula of Pisces Chiron, you may not know which way is up or down, but please, please, please stay close to your loved ones during this pig year, as I'm recording this in 2019. And don't stay. Strong you have to be, but it's like you cannot afford to stay your own, as I've said earlier, you are a vial, or you are like a a portal for all beings to lead through this one person, or to understand, or to give back through this one person. You are no way yours. Identity is important and immense, but it is in no way truly solid and permanent. It's in a sense, when you think about it, by the 2027 April, your identity is in a sense a grafting mechanism within itself, and it does not need to be scrutinized after that. So include others, be strong, be tough, be prosperous, stay clear. Pineal gland is a must to develop. Body, memory, physical intelligence, physical peace, physicality, and the physical strength is impossible not to master if you really are together. And yes, go on your own, but know that not able to be on your own completely. There are thousands of beings with you, next to you, putting you towards each step of your life. And those of us who are leading now, we have to stay strong. Don't involve an ego, or back speech to anybody else who's done you wrong, or you think is doing you wrong. You have to be yours, and you have to be as strengthened and as vast at the same time as you can. So thank you guys. I've enjoyed this reading. I hope that you have too. I hope that Chiron and Aries gives you all the results that you need, and I hope that you have all the love in the world during this time gathered up from previous years to support you in your missions in life. And you are not alone. You're all one. Thank you. Enjoy. The details and the links below. Please sign up to my Patreon channel. There's so much more than this on Patreon, so please have a look. Yes, if you like, if you subscribe, I would love to see you next time, and all the things are in the links below. Bye.